Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and I wanted to make a video showing you all my different oracle card decks. I know I've already done a video where I showed all my tarot decks, and I have way more tarot decks than oracle card decks. But I wanted to just share with you the different oracle decks that I use, and also the oracle decks that I hardly ever use at all. So we'll start with the deck that I actually totally forgot I had until I went looking through all my drawers and boxes and everything, trying to find all my oracle decks. And this is called the Destiny's Portal Oracle. And this is by Jessica Galbreth, and she is a really talented fantasy artist. And I got this deck because I was so drawn to the artwork in it, and I still am. But I didn't find this deck to be that easy to read with. I felt it was one of those decks that you kind of had to learn, and you had to spend a lot of time with it, and for some reason I just never, I don't know if I never connected with the deck or the deck never connected with me, but all my readings were just like totally out there, not very accurate with this one. So I put it away and I totally forgot I had it, and now that I'm looking at it, it's gorgeous, and I might start using it again. So that is the Destiny's Portal Tarot, and I'm going to put the name of each oracle card deck and their artist in the description of this video. So if you like a deck, you can just look at the description to see the name of it. So this is the Goddess Guidance Oracle Card deck by Doreen Virtue. And like all of her decks, there's a positive message on each card, and each card features a different goddess. This is actually one of my favorite oracle decks. I use this one all the time. I use it in professional readings as a way to kind of wrap up the reading at the end, just by drawing one of these cards. And I also use it for my own personal readings as well. And if you watch any of my weekly videos, I use this deck a lot for the weekly readings. So yeah, this is definitely a favorite one. And then this deck is Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle. And this is by Lucy Cavendish, and I can't remember the name of the artist. And I just got this deck like 4 days ago. So I have not had a lot of time to work with it yet. I've just done, you know, 1 or 2 readings with it. And so far it's been pretty accurate. And I really like the pictures. Like, look at this one. I don't know what it is about this picture, but whenever I look at it, I feel like I'm in the picture. It's pretty cool. And this deck, of course, as you can tell by the title, Wild Wisdom of the Fairy, it features fairies. And the book, it comes with a really good book that gives you lots of really good information about fairies and working with the fairies and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about working with this deck, actually, and getting to know it better. Okay, and this one is the Druid Animal Oracle deck. And this is actually by the same people who did the Druidcraft Tarot and also the latest rendition of the Wildwood Tarot. I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but I'll put it in the description of the video. So each oracle card features an animal, and it comes with a really good book, and the book really explains the sort of the more spiritual meaning of each animal and the significance of each animal. This is one of those decks that I really like, but for some reason I just never ever use it. And I think it's because again, it's a deck that you really have to learn the meanings of. And I mean, you can, if you just use it for yourself, you can just look up the meanings in the book, but this is one of those decks that I actually never use, but it's really pretty. And this is the Dow Oracle, and this is such a gem of an oracle deck. This is actually by the same artist who did the Osho Zen Tarot. And this is quite a hefty oracle deck. Like, I think there's like 70 cards or something in here. There's a lot. And most oracle decks I have, there's only like a few cards. Like, It's almost like half the size of a tarot deck, it seems, but this one's quite quite a hefty deck. And again, I hardly ever use this one. I have so many decks, I just forget that I have them. But this is definitely, even though I don't use this one a lot, it is one of my favorite decks. I love the way these cards feel. They've got this nice matte finish. And these cards are really neat because they've got some keywords on them, so it's easy to use this deck without the book. And the artwork is just amazing. The Marrying Maiden. I feel like this deck is like kind of almost like best kept secret or something. It's so underrated. Like I didn't really hear much about this deck, and I saw it, and I love this card. This is my favorite. And I was immediately drawn to it, and you don't really hear a lot about this deck, and I think it's one of the best Oracle decks out there, actually. So again, I should start using it more often. Okay, and here we've got the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue. And this was one of her earlier decks. I think this one came out in the 80s or 90s, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the book. This is one of her earlier ones. And this features dolphins and mermaids. And I actually did a video review of this one not too long ago. So if you want to see the full video review and the written review of this deck, you can go to my website, which is dailytarotgirl.com, and I'll put a link to my website in the description of the video. This is one of my favorite Oracle decks, and I do use this one very, very often. I use this one occasionally in professional readings, but I mostly just use it for myself. And I feel like this deck is really attuned to me, and the readings I do with it always seem to make a lot of sense. And this is Angel Therapy Oracle cards. Again, it's another Doreen Virtue deck. And this is very similar to her other decks. There's a positive message on each card. I actually don't use this deck that much. I like it, but I just don't use it that much. Okay, and then next we have Healing with the Fairies Oracle card deck. And this is also another Doreen Virtue deck. And I actually just got this about 3 or 4 days ago, so I haven't had a lot of time to work with this one yet. But I liked it as soon as I took it out of the box and looked at it. It actually reminds me a lot of the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck. I'm not sure why, but it does. This one, it's kind of nice because a lot of the Doreen Virtue's decks have like the phrases and sayings on the bottom, and this one it's just kind of a couple words, so it's quite simple. So that's Healing with the Fairies. And then we've got the Ascended Masters Oracle cards. And I just recently did a full video review of this one too. And I use this card, I use these cards off and on. I've kind of had I guess you could say a love-hate relationship with this deck. I've gone through phases where I didn't really connect with this deck, and then I've gone through phases where I really connected with this deck and used it a lot. There's a lot of very intense men in this deck. But yeah, it's a good one. Each card features an Ascended Master. So if you're kind of interested in the Ascended Masters, this is a good deck to get. This is the Earth Magic Oracle cards, and this deck is by Stephen Farmer. I think he's actually married to Doreen Virtue. And this is a really cool deck. Again, this is one that I rarely use. I keep forgetting I have this deck. But this is a really nice deck. Each card features a different artist. So you get to see lots of different styles of art in this deck. And I feel like this deck is very earthy. It's got a card for each season, and it really connects you with the different earth elements. Again, this is a deck that's can be sometimes a little bit hard to read without the guidebook until you kind of learn the meanings of the cards. I like that picture, that's a nice one. But yeah, definitely a really nice deck to have. And this one is the Life Purpose Oracle. And again, this one's by Doreen Virtue. And this one features different career paths and different life purpose themes on each card. And I don't use this deck very much. I use it occasionally if I'm doing a reading for someone who has questions about career or life purpose. I found with myself it wasn't very spot on, it wasn't very accurate, but people like this deck a lot, and it is actually really fun to use for readings. Okay, and this is Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle deck by Colette-Baron Reid. And I think Colette-Baron Reid has 3 Oracle decks out now. This is the only one that I have of hers. And this is quite an eye-catching deck. The pictures on these cards really draw you in. And I used this Oracle deck a lot when I first got it, and I found the readings I had with it were so accurate. And I had the weirdest experiences with this deck where I would be doing a reading for myself and I'd be drawing the cards, and before I flip the cards over I would have like an image of what the card was going to be, and then it would be that card. It was so weird. I don't know if that's ever happened to you before, but it's the weirdest thing. So yeah, this is a nice deck to have. I don't use this one at all though now. So it's Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. And this is the Guidance Dogs Oracle cards. And this is a really special deck. And this is by Kirsten, I'm going to pronounce her last name wrong, I know I am, Kirsten Laulainen. And each card features a dog, a different breed of dog, and a message. And I find this deck really fun to work with, and there's just something about it that always makes me smile when I'm reading with these cards. There's just something really like almost childlike and like really joyful about dogs. I'm more of a cat person, but even so I still love working with this deck. And I think this deck would be really good for doing readings for pets if you have a dog. I haven't used it for that purpose yet, but I think it would be really effective for doing animal readings. Okay, and last but not least, we've got self-care cards, and this deck is by Cheryl Richardson, and it's a bit different because there's something on each side. So there's the card on one side, and then there's a message on the other side. And I just recently did a video review of this one, but I haven't uploaded it yet. And I do use this deck quite a bit. I use it with counseling clients. At the end of a session, I'll get them to draw one card. And each card has a message on it, and most of the cards have to do with self-care, so something that you could do for yourself. Something nice that you could do. And every card is positive, so let go of the need to control, trust in the wisdom of a divine plan. And these are nice cards to use just for like a daily draw, if you like to do a reading first thing in the morning. It always kind of puts you in a good mood. The thing I like about a lot of these Oracle decks is that they don't have the white borders that tarot cards have. Like, I don't think any of... Yeah, a lot of them don't have those annoying white borders that so many decks have. So yeah, this is definitely definitely a good deck to get. I use this one quite a bit. And Cheryl Richardson, in her, if you buy these cards in the leaflet that comes with it, she says that there's all different ways you can use this deck, and one thing that you can do is you can send people the individual cards, so you could like put one in a birthday card or something like that. And I thought that was kind of a neat idea. I'd never thought of doing that with Oracle cards before. So yeah, that's the self-care cards, and I highly recommend them. They're quite good. So yeah, this has been my video, and I've got lots of deck reviews up on my website, which I will put a link to in the description box, and if you're interested in seeing more reviews, you can just go there and check those out. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear, you know, if you have any of these Oracle decks, if you use them or don't use them, and tell me what your favorite Oracle card deck is. If you have like one deck that you are more connected to than any of the other decks, and what that deck is. Okay, my name is Kate, and thank you so much for watching.